all right? A lot of staff that I had to recruit. Au naona ambao sio wa Tanzania ni experts from Bridge of Life ambao walikuja. They came to the country kwa sababu I'm bringing something new. You needed to teach people because unlike India or other countries, we don't have very big reserve in terms of expertise, technical expertise. So kulikuwa hakuna dialysis technicians, hakuna everything. And if you're going to deal with something that is so technical, you need to prepare the grounds for it. So you just don't go and open a clinic, otherwise it won't work. So how watu wote naona hapo, nobody, there are nurses, registered nurses, all of them, most of them, and biomed technician, one of them, and the guys are from Bridge of Life. Those people, they have the basic training in medicine or in registered nurses, but nobody knew anything about dialysis. So I was trying to build the manpower, the first thing, and it worked really well. So what does Bridge of Life actually does as a non-profit organization? It helps to assist local partners in developing countries to open access in dialysis care. So what they do is they help you if it's an establishment place, they can help you with the logistics, but if it's a new place, they help in all different levels in terms of technical guidance, educational programs, etc. So all the education that was done there, and we have a continuing education with these people, is just to help to make sure that we have appropriate people who knows. So technical know-how, it's very, very important. So it was really a blessing for me. Now those people were very excited when I brought them to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Nikawaweka kwenye facility near the beach there. Walikuwa wanakuja kila siku asubuhi. So we went into educational program for almost 3-4 months before we opened the center, because I needed to make sure that this thing is done. I observe quality, expertise, and technical reliability. So we don't kufanya mambo ya Kiswahili tena. And we need to make sure that we have people who are committed. And I'm so glad to say that I still have openings for people who will be committed enough that I can be able to sponsor them to come for further training. Lakini mtaelezea kidogo a few minutes later matatizo yaliopo. So I consider myself kwamba hii program, it's in a lot of benefits so far. Ukilinganisha, I mean, you can go through that one, but the most important, we are giving health care services ambazo haziko available au zilikuwa hazipatikani kirahisi. Kuna capital injection kwenye economy, kuna employment opportunities, clinic ina employ kuanzia cleaner, guard, mpaka different technical specials, mpaka providers. I had to recruit providers na vitu kama hivyo. So all those are very pertinent things ambazo zina contribute katika Tanzanian diaspora, Tanzanian economy. And my hope, I think the most important kwamba hii model ikiweka vizuri, nafikiri everybody else can learn so that tujue how can we be able to contribute more to our country through our exposure in diaspora. So what are the challenges? Nafikiri hata jana tumeongelea mambo mengi, I won't repeat them, but tuliongelea kuhusu matatizo ya reliability, manpower ya Tanzania. Unajua kuna matatizo ya registration, still BRELA ukienda inachukua muda mrefu, unajua wanafanya marekebisho, but it still takes time. TRA, unajua TRA, and to get a TIN number, Tanzania nashangaa mpaka sasa hivi unabidi uhonge kupata TIN number, na wakati hiyo ni tax ambayo automatic ndo unalipia. Sasa it's the only place ambao unajua kuna vitu kama, najua kuna efforts zinafanyika kubadilisha ya mambo, lakini ni vitu ambavyo vinashangaza kama vikiwa facilitated. TIC, napenda tena kutoa shukrani zangu za dhati kwa former director wa TIC, Ole Naiko, alifacilitate sana katika registration ya center na kusaidia. The concept is good, lakini inahitaji kuwa inahitaji still kuwa cleaned up. Kuna issues ya difficulty in transparencies, ukideal na watu wengine, unajua mtu unaongea something else, lakini mtu akija kumbe ana mawazo tofauti, you don't understand. Unataka nielezee zaidi? You know, it's very difficult to explain, lakini kwa ufupi ni kwamba unakwenda na open minded, unataka kujua kwamba you want to do this, kumbe mwenzako anafikiria vingine kwamba utafanyaje ili uweze ku enhance. Nitakupa mfano kidogo in a minute. Financial institutions za kwetu bado zina interest rate very high, kwa hiyo kama ukitafuta mikopo ya kule, jamani, you have to be careful. Lakini nasikia Azania Bank wana different program, labda ukiwa katika dola zinasaidia, sio nawapigia debe, lakini you know, you can look into those are the different options, kuacha options ambazo tumepata za different grants. And then kuna issue ya competition and insubordination, and hii ilinisikitisha because the magnitude of kidney problems is according to National Kidney Foundation is about 10% of the population. If you take the population of Tanzania ni kama 40 million sasa hivi, sio 10% in about 40,000. Okay, in about 40,000. 4 million. Okay. Even let's say kama ni 40,000 wagonjwa hapo wanaohitaji hizo services, hata kama center yangu ikichukua watu wote na center zingine, bado we still cannot address the issue. So I was hoping kwamba nikifika nitamobilize wenzangu niwaambie, jamani, let's put our resources together and see how we can work together to give the services to people. Lakini wengine wanakuchukulia kama competition. And instead of supporting each other, kwa kuna vitu vingi. Unajua dialysis, you literally need everything from kila kitu kinakuja kutoka nchi, it's imported. So chain and things like that. If we could put our hands together, we could come up with a way of getting things in a cheap way and working together, but everybody's looking at them, you know, so it's difficult. And then corruption, ambayo najua kila mtu anaifahamu. Mpaka mara ya mwisho nikashangaa, bwana mgonjwa mmoja ambaye amesikia kituo changu anakuja pale, anataka kupata services. I still have 3 minutes. Anakuja pale, anaona nani, unakuta mpaka messenger anataka amtoe upepo ili amsaidie apate registration haraka. Sasa, you know, it doesn't make sense vitu kama hivyo, kwa hiyo inabidi kuangalia mambo mengi sana. So I'll go briefly into can have an idea about how the center looks like. Hao ni watu ambao nilianza nao, wakapata na certificate, lakini in a short while wamebadilika kwa sababu ya matatizo mengine, kwamba baada ya kujenga wafanyakazi ambao wana technical know-how wakaja wakarubuniwa na watu wengine. Kwa hiyo hata kama umesign contract na kadhalika, 50% of my employees walichukuliwa na Aga Khan na Arab kwa sababu waliwapa dau zaidi. Sasa siwezi kushindana na wao kwa sababu sina pesa nyingi za kuanzishia, sio? Kwa hiyo ni mambo kama ninayosema na kadhalika. Ndio maana sasa hivi ukiangalia aina ya clients nilionao, wafanyakazi nina experts, nina expatriates. Kwa kuna expatriates na employee kutoka India na kutoka different parts of the world. So this is how the center looks like. You have all the different machines. Which slide am I on here? Tunajaribu kufollow the American standards. Tuna wagonjwa ambao kuna different sections, wenye infections, different type of infections, na ambao wako hawana infections. You know, you need to observe this quality, what I was talking about. That's the water treatment unit, ambayo ilikuwa ni very expensive to install, but at least things were done. Nimepata very good support from the government system. Picha hii inaonyesha Chief Medical Officer from Wizara ya Afya alikuja akatembelea pale. Kuna Professor Sarungi ambaye ndio chairman wa Access Healthcare Foundation ambaye ananisaidia to navigate through the system kama ukipata shida. Interesting enough, tulikuwa tumepata shida ya kupitisha some of the things. Nikamwomba professor, tumeenda baada ya yeye kwenda na kupewa ile ruhusa ya kupitisha, nikapigiwa simu nikamwambia, wewe unatembea na wazito, hayaendi mambo namna hii Tanzania. Utakwama. Maana nitakiwa niende mwenyewe alafu nibamizwe, sio? Nashukuru sana support ya viongozi mbalimbali ambao wameweza kutembelea clinic na wameona, and that is the honest truth. Namshukuru Chief Secretary aliweza kupita pale vile vile kama alivyosema jana, na hii ndio location ya sehemu iliyopo. hiyo so far ni phase 1 ambayo imefanyika. Phase 2 bado sijaweka bado signage katika hiyo clinic ya nje, kwa sababu nangojea grand opening. Ile nikifanya grand opening niwe na support ya kutoka kwenye DICOTA, kwa sababu I consider this as a really initiative ilianzia from diaspora na iko invested kwenye diaspora, sio jamani? So we have issues ambazo nasaidia kupata accreditation katika different organizations. I'll be done in a minute, okay? I think people will like this. Really, because this is the purpose of this meeting. What I'm doing actually is I'm giving you what you are here for, to understand it. Tunaweza tukasoma nadharia nyingine, but this is a really practical example. So I'll take 2 more minutes. So the issue about task ahead, kwa sababu ya healthcare industry imebadilika Tanzania, we need to have accreditation. My hopeful ni kwamba how organization mbalimbali zimesha saini, nyingine NHIF through different contacts wameweza kufacilitate, na bado nimeshakutana na watu wote, Port Authority, TRA, TPDF, hawa private industry vile vile. Nia yangu ni kwamba nikipata good coverage ya watu ambao wanalipiwa na insurance, then kuna watu ambao hawajiwezi tunawafanyia kwa bure ama tunawafanyia katika subsidized rate. Tunaita Robin Hood type of operation. This is what we do in United States. Sio jamani? Yeah, tusaidiane. Sio kila mtu atakuwa na uwezo wa kufanya kila kitu. Kwa hiyo I don't believe in kwenda kanisani na kutoa sadaka nyingi zaidi ya kumwacha mtu ambaye anasafa apate matibabu. So at this moment, like concluding remarks, tunashukuru effective. I'm happy what the government is doing, try to promote the diaspora initiative na kujua kwamba tutafanya nini, na steps the government is taking kwa ajili ya kuondoa hizi bottlenecks. Kama BRELA wametupa presentation kwamba mambo gani, custom clearance, etc. As far as our clinic is concerned, we are committed to excellent quality services. Tuna encourage cooperation with NGOs, non-governmental, everybody is invited here. This guy was is a president of the wagonjwa wenye matatizo ya figo Tanzania, na alikuja pale, alishangaa kwamba kuna kitengo kimekuwa kinaendelea for about a year na alikuwa hajapata information. Nikamwambia nilikuwa sikutangaza hatukutangaza sana kwa kila mtu mapema, kwa sababu tulikuwa tunataka ku make sure kwamba kila kitu kiko in place, na tulikuwa tunangojea kwamba iwe mfanyike official opening. So amesema kwamba anaenda na kujaribu kuambia watu wote kwamba kuna kitengo ambacho kinatoa huduma za kisasa na kiko vizuri, na ana encourage it. So that was just my last remark kwamba it's not so easy, but to achieve great things in life one must dream. Not only dream to believe in its dream, but also to act on that dream. Jamani. Hapa kwa wale ambao mnifahamu, nimeweka hii slide hapa mwisho kujitambulisha. Naitwa Dr. Crispin Semakula, ni physician, lakini unajua zile business cards za Dar es Salaam watu wengi wanaandika qualifications nyingi sana. MD, what, au engineer or something like. Lakini sasa I don't think that's what is important, because hatuwezi kuelewa kwamba anafanya nini na mambo mengine yanakuwa na difficult. Ni afadhali kwa machache unaelezea what you do. So I'm a teacher and I'm doing these things. Asanteni sana.
At this time, I'd like to welcome Ambassador Amin Ali to give us brief remarks. As she's making her way up here, I don't mean to rush you, Balozi. As she's making her way up here, Balozi is a very active supporter. She is a fellow diasporan, has been very active in many matters of the diaspora. She is actually a frequent speaker in various diaspora, and given her portfolio, not only does she speak to the Tanzanian community on diaspora issues, but she also speaks with a number of us fellow sister organizations within Africa. So we are pleased and honored that she's able to be here with us today.
Honorable Ambassador Sefue, our Chief Secretary, Excellency Ambassador Liberata Mulamula, my sister of many years, my brothers and sisters, my fellow Tanzanian, Assalamu alaikum and happy Eid. First of all, I want to declare openly that I love you all, and I love Tanzania. I'm saying this because for the last 1 week I had a tough time because my boss was here with me, and I was with her in California. We traveled all over from morning till late at night, and I was invited, and I thought, oh my God, I will not make it. So yesterday I missed my first flight in the morning. My boss left in the evening, and I had to get another flight. I arrived in my house 4 o'clock in the morning, and I prepared myself. Unfortunately, they told me you have to go back again to Baltimore. I said, no, I'm going to drive. So I'm sorry, I really wanted to come from the beginning, but I'm very happy I made it even for a few hours. Thank you very much. It gives me a great pleasure today to join you, my brothers and sisters, in this important Tanzanian gathering. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the DICOTA leadership for giving me this opportunity, myself and my colleague from the African Union Mission. Seraphine, can you stand forward so that I can see you? She is my policy officer. She is doing all the diaspora work, and we've been together for the last time, since I joined African Union. So I'm very pleased to be here. As you are all aware, Africans are living in foreign countries. For different reasons, we have different types of diasporans. The very first Africans are the historical one, mostly in the Oceanic and some other countries, and followed by those who came by force. These are through the transatlantic slave trade that took place from the 16th century to 19th centuries. Other Africans came later, mostly for studies and some for other reasons. According to the 2000 U.S. Census Bureau report, the estimated population of African immigrants to the USA was about 881,300 African immigrants to the US. And among the most educated group in the US, some 48.9% of all African immigrants hold a college diploma. And their spending capacity is estimated $7 trillion. $7 trillion of all the diaspora, both historical diaspora and what we call the recent immigrants. To tap into that incredible resource, we in the African Union, through our Constitutive Act or the Constitution of African Union, recognize that the basic requirement for development must be premised on active and total mobilization of all relevant forces in the society. Hence, the Act is specific that the Union has to be people-centered, people-driven, and people-oriented, based on a partnership between government and all segments of civil society, particularly youth and women. The people-centered aspiration highlights the fact that a significant part of the African population that reside outside the shores of the continent, through successive waves of migration, including the ancient and modern, is part of the African Union system. Soon after the launching of the African Union in Durban, South Africa in 2002, the Assembly of African Heads of State and Government met in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and adopted, among other priorities, the protocol that invites the African diaspora to participate fully as an important component in the building of the African Union. In adopting the decision, the protocol recognized the diaspora as an important constituency outside the 5 established regions of Africa, which is East, West, Central, North, and South. Therefore, and they call it in effect, the 6th region of Africa. That means the diaspora, wherever we are, we have every right to participate in the work of African Union as an organization. In July 2005, the Assembly of African Heads of State and Government adopted the definition of the diaspora as follows. The African diaspora consists of peoples of African origin living outside the continent, irrespective of their citizenship and nationality, and who are willing to contribute to the development of the continent and building of the African Union. For a progressive and sustainable integration of the diaspora in the African Union, the African Union Commission has created the AU Citizen and Diaspora Directorate, CIDO, and the Economic, Social, and Cultural Council, ECOSOC, with specific responsibility to seek and harness contribution of all non-state actors for the development of Africa. Now, with respect to Economic, Social, and Cultural Council, ECOSOC, according to its own constitution, they have different position and elected position. And for the diaspora, especially us who are in the Western Hemisphere, we have been allocated, especially America, we have been allocated 6 electoral positions. I'm saying this because it is important for diaspora to be organized. And wherever I go to address diaspora, I always said, please, diaspora, be organized. All the diaspora in the US, whether from China or from Asia, which is India and other part of Asia, whether from the Jewish diaspora, they are all organized. Even Latino diaspora, they are well organized. We have seen when the Israeli Prime Minister comes here, the first stop the first people he meet will be his own diaspora, because they are organized. And also the Latino diaspora, they are well organized. You have seen that what they do in terms of putting pressure to government about their issues. At the same time, if government want to talk with diaspora, Latino diaspora, they have their association. It's easy because they have their president, they have their leadership. The problem lies with African diaspora. Maybe through Tanzanian diaspora, we may be able to activate this and bring together both the historical diaspora and the African recent diaspora. This is very important because there are certain things we really cannot get advantage of our group, of our numbers. Because if you look at the number, we really have a number in terms of our spending capacity as well as the number that we have. But we cannot make a difference. We have seen how the Congress work and how there are so many issues. For instance, immigration issues. Our colleague from the Latino society, they are doing much better than us from the African diaspora. So ECOSOC is very important, and be the leader to get our leaders attending these meetings is very, very important. I would like to recall the very significant Global African Diaspora Summit that took place in Sandton, Johannesburg, South Africa in May 2012. The summit marked an unprecedented gathering that confirmed the determination of African descent to come together for the prosperous of our motherland. The final declaration made by heads of state and government recognized, among other things, the need to build sustainable partnership between the African continent and the African diaspora through sustainable dialogue and effective collaboration with government and people of different regions of the world in which the diaspora population are located. In their final declaration, and this is very important to listen, African heads of state and government selected 5 what they called legacy projects as a way of giving practical meaning to the diaspora program in order to facilitate and make concrete the post-summit implementation program. And these 5 legacy projects is important, not only for our country, but also for the diaspora.
Mimi, I will be using both languages interchangeably. Nasimama kama Board of Trustees of DICOTA, lakini what I wanted to share with you today is what has been my experience as a DICOTA.
Ask me how many diaspora, in terms of professional diaspora, we cannot get the number because we don't have database. So there was a time when most of the diaspora, they are accusing our country, saying, why do you give contracts to Europeans, to Chinese? But the question comes, we need to have the database. Our countries need to have the database to know in this project, we have somebody who is an expert, let's say in IT, who can be able to bring to this country to be able to work on this project. Unfortunately, we don't have the skill database of African professionals. Now, through the legacy project, African Union is working with Microsoft and also World Bank to be able to create the skill database, because after Microsoft, they've started to do the background work to be able now to have a skill database that can be given to all the governments or member states, so that it will be easy for them to, when they need experts, they can get experts from their own country, but sometimes they don't know who are the experts, even from their own countries. I have some cases that they don't know what is going on for their own diaspora. The second legacy project is the establishment of the African Diaspora Volunteer Corps. You know the importance of volunteering, especially for our young people. It's very, very important. So African Union is working to create African Diaspora Volunteer Corps. That will be the volunteer program for all the diaspora. But this is not, when you talk about the diaspora, it doesn't mean that you are going to your country. It means the volunteer will be going to different countries in Africa and in the diaspora. The third program is the African Diaspora Investment Fund. I read through the program today. I think Kofi Annan came and talked about it, so I don't have to repeat. It's very, very important, especially for us who are sending home. You send home to your uncle or your brother thinking that he's going to keep the money for you, but he takes the money and use for himself. By the time you want to go home, you think your house is there or you have good fat account in the bank, you find only machozi and you can't kill your uncle or your brother. So this project is very important. We have seen, for instance, in India and China and even Israel, they have very good program for investment, because this is not only help countries or support countries in their development effort, but also for ourselves, because normally it will have a very high good returns for ourselves, and even it may even give you opportunity to be able to go and borrow in the future. And then number 4 is called a program on the development of marketplace for the diaspora as a framework for facilitating innovation and entrepreneurship among Africa and the diaspora. This project is programmed in such a way, if you are a diaspora and you have innovative skill, and you come out with your program or project, and when it is ready, that project, there will be a sort of announcement for diaspora to apply, to provide their project, and then they will get funds from, depending on successful project, and that project will be given some funds, seed money, to be able to start that project. And then when it is successful, a little bit, when it is seen that it's a bit successful, they will get the second tranche for them to be able to move second step. But this is also, as I said, is under preparation. Now, the last project is the African Remittance Institute. This project, most of the time, our diaspora don't understand what is this project, and we'll be receiving a lot of complaints from diaspora from West Africa and other countries. This is a project to facilitate remittance, because when you send money, especially for us Tanzania, Western Union, I don't know how much. The fee is very high. At the same time, we get in Tanzania shilling. And the difference between the exchange rate is going to Western Union. Unfortunately, Western Union, yes, they have their program, but they don't support Tanzania, many of the Tanzania projects, I know for sure. Because I had a meeting with Vice President of Western Union, and I accused him and said, that is, you have signed the agreement between you, ourselves and your central bank. That's it. But why do we have to pay, why it has to be expensive? When other countries, for instance, Latin America, remittance is not expensive. You send it now, within 10 minutes, your parents or your wife or your fiancé get the money cheap. You don't have to travel, because sometimes to get your money, you have to go to bureau or to go to Western Union, bank, postal bank in Tanzania. Why? When you travel from the village, you are spending money to get your, that means all the money that your son is sending to you, you spend it by just traveling from one place to the other. The reason, because our central bank, they have their own rules and regulations. So the remittance is to help our government to enable central bank to facilitate diaspora, so that anybody, even through telephones, when you send your money, so even if you visit, your parents should collect your money through like M-Pesa or like anything. So these are the things that African Union, together with, this one is already a project now. We have selected a host country, which is Nairobi. I think they've started now to prepare and to call a central bank to give them sort of a training and ideas and exchange of information. But this is very important for us from the diaspora. Now, as you all know, the last year, 2013, African Union celebrated this 50th anniversary. And of course, during the 50th anniversary, we've come out with a new program. It's called 2063. And this program is the program that we christen it. This is the agenda for Africa, but for Africa we want. Because most of the time, Africa, we just eat what other people are preparing for us. But now we are saying we have to eat what we want to eat ourselves. So this is a program. We as diaspora, we were asked to contribute, and a lot of groups have contributed in different areas. So in that respect, this program will start very soon, and we are going to submit the final draft to our leaders in January. And I believe this is where the diaspora will be able to work in a framework that will involve not only our member state, but all over Africa. That will involve in terms of business. We have continental free trade area. You can invest anywhere in Africa by 2017, if this program will be by that time operative, and other things. Now, I think after saying about African Union, let me take 2 or 3 minutes just to talk to things that concern us. And this is, what is the role? What is the role for the African diaspora? And I try to look at the chronology of the diaspora in the recent years, especially for us. In 2007, here in the US, we had a very sort of open house meeting with World Bank, and it was a collaborative attempt between us, African Union and the World Bank. And during that meeting, 7 countries were given funds to start diaspora program. When I came here, this, what do you call this, vugu vugu, I don't know what to call it in English. You know, this, now we are all active on diaspora, but when we came here, the diaspora was only for West Africans. For us in the South and the East, and, I mean, we were like something very far from us. But after the open house, and then World Bank volunteered to give funds so that country can start now. Other countries, especially from the East, and some countries in this Central. There were 7 countries, I remember, including my own office, to strengthen my office to deal with diaspora issues. They were given funds to be able now to create institution and institutional infrastructure for diaspora. That's why now you see we have diaspora desk, diaspora ministry, diaspora department. And I must say, our government now, they're working very well, very hard to be able to, first of all, to legally recognize diaspora. Imagine 8 years, 9 years before, when we came here, I mean, our government was saying, well, they left the country on their own, so let it be. But now legally we are recognized, and I'm very happy to, although I came very late, but from what I heard, I'm happy because our government are committed and realize the importance of utilizing the capacity that our own people outside Africa has, especially, for instance, in different fields, whether if you look at the skills, you look at the capacity to do things, and this is very, very important, and I'm happy to see, even for Tanzanian, we really make a very tremendous step, which is, if you could see the scenario has changed completely from the first, let's say, 27, 28, 29 now. And all this because of the DICOTA and also because of the commitment of our government. Now, at that time, when we came, what were the issues and what African Union is doing on those issues? Now, the issue number one was dual citizenship. Issue number two, recognition for our right for investment. Why when we go home, why we are being discriminated, we are not Tanzanian or we are not Chinese, from Senegal, why? And then there was an issue of repatriation and reparation. That means if I want to go and live in, let's say, in Kenya, I have to go and live in Kenya. If I want to go and live in anywhere in Africa, I have to go because this is Africa and I belong, I am a daughter of a son of Africa. Those are the major issues. And then opportunity in terms of skills development, as I said, we didn't have skill banks, so our countries get experts from Sweden. You find expert, let's say in the Department of Mineral, we find a white person there, and say, oh, why this? You know, I'm capable. Why I'm seeing a Swedish running maybe the energy department? So those are the major issues that we realize. But now our countries, most of our countries, they have introduced dual citizenship. Some countries like Rwanda, you can go without visa. You have Ethiopia that encourage their own diaspora to invest in their country. And I could say among the leading diasporan who does good for their country, I would say number one is Ethiopia. Now from our region, number one is Ethiopia. You see Ethiopia, how it changed. That is the effort of the diaspora. Even if you go to Ghana, this diaspora. And we have to work hard to be able to reach all this now. So for us Tanzanian, I think we have opportunity. And I'm sure you have talked about this for all of us. But I just want to say two things. Number one, you know, we have a person like Dr. Chris. I have received delegation almost between 10 and 15 from Tanzania. They'll come, oh, Ambassador, we've come, we need you to help us, blah, blah, blah. So I will work hard to introduce them to people and then ring them, then call those people and you must help my people, you know, they are capable. But the problem is they come here not prepared. You cannot be successful. If you come to America, if you're not prepared, you cannot be successful. We will do our level best to push you, but you cannot. Because they'll ask you, do you have your land title? Oh, it is at home. Okay, bring it. 2 years, nobody comes back. Okay, do you have a document from investment center? Yes, I have, but I'll bring it. Okay, why don't you bring a copy? I'll tell you, oh, bring a copy. Just bring a copy. My friend in EOPIC will just close their eyes. No copy. Copy doesn't come. Okay, I want to have a partner. All right, you want to have a partner. What do you have at home in terms of your own resources? Because if you want a partner, if you don't have, how are you going to get a partner? No partners. You see? So you send a person to one office, you need continuously to follow up. You don't follow up. You just think everything will be like this. Not possible. We have here, I would say there is every opportunity, but you have to follow the trick that Americans are using. And the trick number one is you have to be prepared, you have to be determined, you have to follow what they are saying. You follow. Sometimes you just listen and then you follow what they're saying. Today do this, tomorrow do that. You will end up successful. The only person I think I have two who are a little bit successful. But number one, as I said here, when he was talking, I was talking to the other gentleman for leather. I said the professor who have been successful is Dr. Crispin, because I've been with him, I followed, even when I came today, I said, you came from Tanzania, what's going on? You know, sometimes he calls me from Tanzania. Sometimes, as soon as if he has a problem, he'll call me. I say, Ambassador, then of course, I will start asking my friends, what's going on? Please, can you expedite this? Can you? And then sometimes, I have to do Tanzania. I said, okay, Tanzania, do what? I know somebody from the bank, then I'll count. Oh, I know TID, I know this from the bank, I know somebody from Exim Bank, I know some. Why? Because we want our people to be successful. You can be successful, but you have to work hard. And the opportunity, this is the land of opportunity. And in that respect, you can go anywhere. You can start your school, you can start university, you can start, as he said, clinic, you can start aftercare system, whatever you want. You can get everything here. So what I'm saying, we are better off than many of our people. We are exposed to education, we are exposed to funding. You go to, even if you don't want to do anything in Africa, but you have here small business administration that can empower you yourself. Once you are all right, then you can think of going to Tanzania, maybe after 10 years, 15 years. You go to OPIC, you go to Exim Bank, you go to Small Business Administration. There are a lot, from the state government to federal government. So my fellow Tanzanians, my brothers and sisters, I know you don't want to hear anymore because there are others who want to talk. What I'm saying, we have opened our eyes. Once you are here, your eyes are open. You see, so take advantage of being in America. And whoever wants our advice, because for those who want, I cannot run to anybody and start talking to anybody unless somebody comes and asks me for support. And there are so many who are ready to help Tanzanians or anybody from diaspora. So please, thank you very much. And I'm so happy to be here again. And next day I'll try to come again if I'm invited. Asante sana.
Balozi, asante sana. Thank you for those kind words, for the words of motivation. And yes, we will be inviting you next time. At this time, as I mentioned before, we have our very own Kadari Singo, who is here to speak to us related to his experiences. Guy is reminding me that at the conclusion of this event, we'll be going to the park. There are directions and flyers on how to get there. And so we'll also have transportation arranged, right? We'll also have transportation that will depart the hotel from the lobby. So if you can take that transportation, or if you have your own, we have directions behind you. At this time, as I mentioned, Kadari, karibu sana. What I would like to do, and Balozi Sefua, Balozi Mulamula, all protocol will not be followed. So I'm putting that out there. Because of the nature of this matter, the passion of this matter, I'm going to exercise my chairmanship discretion and allow Singo to conduct this session in Swahili. Because I really think that we really want to engage. We really want to hear. And so as Singo gets set up, we'll also, I think there's some other people outside. We'll invite them to come in. Lakini Singo, ukiwa tayari, karibu.
Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. Kwanza naomba kuapologize kwa sababu jana ndio nilipangwa niongee, lakini ilibidi nibaki kule bungeni ya kishukuru yangu inapigwa.